Yeah,
nice conversation with some locals.
It's always good to have a nice conversation with people, you know, especially when you're all waiting in line and
Comparing experiences.
We stumbled across an interesting thing. We were walking up to the bus stop and there was a huge line, but we noticed that on the little screen that there was another bus getting ready to come to Magic Kingdom, only a few minutes behind. So we said, well, let's just wait for that one.
And then we got a seat.
And then we got a seat instead of having to stand. Not that there's anything wrong with standing, it's fine, but you know, we have the opportunity. So, as I said, we're in Magic Kingdom this morning. Kind of a short visit, just kind of pop in, check a few things out, head back to the room. This is our last full day at the French Quarter. And then we are switching resorts over to the Beach Club, which is our DVC home resort. Looking forward to that. But we like French Quarter.
Yeah, it was great. Definitely want to stay here again.
Yeah, big time. All right, so we'll just kind of hop around and see what we got. Now, I'm wearing the Tomorrowland pin.
Oh, let's see what happens.
See if it gets scanned. So, we have successfully navigated Magic Kingdom on a really hot morning, but we decided to take a little break and have our little lunch, share a lunch, which we'll show in a second, over in Columbia Harbor House, which is, in our opinion,
It's one of our favorites.
yeah, it really is, and it's not just for the food, but also for the upstairs, very quiet.
Quiet, we're in a little corner near a window. We can people watch and eat at the same time.
So before we get going, we'll show you what we've got and you know, kind of where we're sitting. And we highly recommend this as a nice place to just kind of chill.
Kind of comfort food too.
Yeah. So this is what we got. We got a shrimp macaroni and cheese. And again, Cindy and I are sharing this. Got some seasonal vegetables and a fruit cobbler. And we're sharing an iced tea. And check out the view here. We're right outside of, you can sort of see right at the edge of Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion.
And we're on the upstairs level. Just gonna give you a little quick look here. We're at lunchtime. It's pretty empty.
Yeah, it's like 11:45.
So great little gem for anybody trying to just get a little bit quieter, restful, cool, off.
Great moments in history, the reign of Paul Revere. Great moments in history, you saw it all right here. And here's what you will take away in all your minds and hearts. Great moments in history, great moments in history, great moments in history. But only the American great moments in history, but just the American parts.
So after a nice lunch, really good, and a nice morning in the park, we're taking advantage of some cloud cover and making our
Makes a
exit.
huge difference.
Oh my God!
Temperature-wise.
If there was some way for Disney to control the weather and have cloud
It's
cover,
somewhere on their list.
yes, I'm sure people with this place would be, well, it'd be packed for one thing because it's so nice, even in the heat of summer, without that sun. Even the humidity isn't such a bother, so it's really nice. So we're, but you know, as we've said, we do it a couple hours and then we are gonna head back.
Share a meal and then go back and take a little rest.
And tonight is Animal
Relax.
Kingdom. More Animal Kingdom. Trying to go later, so maybe we can enjoy the Pandora
See Pandora at night.
and then we have to get back to the room. And tomorrow is pack and move. Packing and moving is a little bit weird because, you know, you're packing up but you're not really leaving. And but Disney's pretty good with that. They'll move all your luggage free of charge. We just have to get ourselves from one resort to another and just check in. So French Quarter is 17. All right, so we'll check back when we are on our way to Animal Kingdom later. Okay, we are working our way into Animal Kingdom, but the clouds are approaching, and we don't know.
It's only like in the low 80s.
It feels great.
Cool.
It's like, it feels nice, but it's just kind of like somewhat ominous.
Yeah.
But we're prepared. We have the ponchos, we have the umbrellas. We're not gonna stay long regardless. We're just kind of popping into Pandora. We have a fast pass for Flight of Passage again. And then we're probably gonna come back out because we have we gotta pack up for tomorrow as we make our move. Plus we just found out about something kind of interesting that we might look into. But we're not gonna say anything until we know for sure if we're doing it.
Yeah.
So we'll check it out and we'll get back to you on it one way or the other. All right, so right now, heading back to Pandora for a little bit.
Avatars to fly this way was all figured out by my boss, Dr. Jackie Ogden. She leads our science team, which is part of the Pandora Conservation Initiative, and we're here in the Valley of Moara studying banshees and their environment. Over a generation ago, this enormous company called the RDA created a lot of damage to the area through their bad mining practices and conflicts with the Na'vi. Just like on Earth, it can take decades for ecosystems to recover. One way to understand what's going on with an ecosystem is to study what are called keystone species. These are animals like tigers, jaguars, seals. The banshee is one of these important animals. Dr. Ogden is the foremost expert on studying the ikran and has spent years researching them. Unfortunately, banshees live high in rookeries and humans can't get anywhere near them without becoming their lunch. But the Na'vi and avatars can. In fact, the Na'vi have been riding on the backs of banshees since their earliest history. Thanks to science, avatars can ride on banshees too. That's why you're linking to an avatar. Okay, almost. Yes, got him. Now, let's find you your avatar matches. All right, you've all been matched with avatars.
Now, first, stow your gear in the storage containers on the back wall. This should include all bags, cameras, and other items, including cell phones. It's important to push them all the way into the bin. Then get onto the chair the same way you might get onto a bike. Put one leg over and straddle the seat. Step all the way forward and then sit down. Wait until you're seated before you put on your flight visors. Hold on to the hand grips as shown and slide forward against the chest pad. It's important to hold on to the hand grips at all times. After you're seated, back and leg restraints will be firmly engaged. For your safety, throughout this entire experience, always remain seated and supervise your children.
Unless you want to pick something up and get two pieces of fruit. So good! So good! So good! Ba ba ba. Okay. Hello.
Good evening.
So we had an interesting, fun evening. The weather held out for us.
Yeah, it was like perfect.
It was actually really
cool.
comfortable, cool in
Cool.
July, which is crazy. But
So nice right now
we just got to see Pandora
with the bioluminescence.
with the bioluminescence,
lighting.
and it was really cool. I mean, it's
Yeah.
definitely a place to want to hang out at night, get a drink. Only thing is that, as Cindy found out, if you sit on the side on a rock and just kind of relax a little bit, don't be surprised if you start hearing alien noises and
Yes, rustling of the leaves and bushes and trees and growling. I almost wanted to get up and move, but I didn't want to look like a ninny.
so they do add ambiance by putting in sounds and movement effects. So
Very
this
cool.
marks our last night. You see this in the look at this
French Quarter, it's just across from here.
French Quarter. Great, and if it wasn't any
Sad
cooler,
to leave.
look at what we have here. We have a horse-drawn carriage. Oh, look at that!
Start at 8:30. Such a pretty
Wait,
horse.
let's walk over here. Let's walk over here real quick. I think they're
And
watching
they're
a
showing
movie,
too.
and it's not just any movie.
Oh yes.
I think it's a favorite of ours, of our families. So we'll just take a quick peek at that, and then we'll a lot of people sitting on the lawn.
Command, experiment 626 is in custody. We'll wait right here.
So Lilo and Stitch, as if this night couldn't get any better. It's we heard if If you're watching the video, you know, the normal way you've seen just after this. Just before this, we had a nice duo, a guitar and fiddle duo, playing a bunch of folk and rock and fun classic tunes. Just so much fun.
Great voice.
As I mentioned in our intro video, you know, the live music here is spectacular, and it's only a handful of people watch it every time. It's so much more than rides and attractions of that nature. So, really excited. But tomorrow we have our next phase. We move on to our home resort for DVC, the Beach Club Villas. So and we have a few other things going on tomorrow that we'll talk about. So until then, popping out.
Popping up. Good night.